Your brain fog isn't just stress, and it's not just age. What if I told you that the mental fatigue you're experiencing, that feeling of being mentally sluggish in critical meetings, is actually a biochemical problem happening at the cellular level? I test CEO brains for a living, and after assessing over 1,000 high-performing executives, I've discovered something that should concern every leader watching this. The cognitive decline that most executives chalk up to getting older or being busy is actually happening 15 to 20 years earlier than it should. Research shows that when problem-solving scores increase, the probability of being a leader increases substantially. Your cognitive function directly correlates with your leadership effectiveness. I specialize in concierge longevity medicine for high-performing executives, business owners, and other high-net-worth individuals. These are analytical, data-driven individuals who understand that their brain is their most valuable asset. What we've discovered through advanced testing will fundamentally change how you think about cognitive performance. If you're serious about maintaining your cognitive edge and you want to learn more about our comprehensive approach, check out the link at alternityhealthcare.com. You know that feeling, right? You're in a critical meeting, decades of experience behind you, but your brain just isn't firing the way it used to. You chalk it up to stress, to being busy, to getting older. But what if I told you that's not the real problem? Let me explain what's actually happening at the cellular level. Your brain is 60% fat. Now think about that for a moment. It's not just an electrical system. It's a physical organ built primarily from specialized fats. And when those specialized fats, particularly plasmalogens, start to decline after age 40, it's like trying to run a Ferrari on watered down fuel. Here's an analogy that really drives this home. Plasmalogens are like reinforced bricks in your cell membrane. They enhance flexibility and stability, which is essential for rapid neural communication. But here's the critical part. They're sacrificial molecules. They absorb damage from reactive oxygen species before they can harm other critical membrane components. Think of them like a fire break that stops a spreading blaze. When these plasmalogens decline, and they naturally do after 40 or 50, you're left with deteriorating cell membrane quality and reduced energy production in your brain's mitochondria. This isn't psychological. This is a biochemical issue that can be measured, tracked, and most importantly, addressed. Research from neuroscientific studies shows that executives who integrate cognitive optimization into their work complete tasks faster while producing a higher quality output. But here's what most people don't realize. By the time you notice the symptoms, the biochemical decline has been happening for years. Traditionally, in healthcare, cognitive concerns are addressed only after noticeable symptoms appear: memory loss, difficulty with complex decisions, that sort of thing. But from a business perspective, would you wait for your company's revenue to completely tank before looking at your financial metrics? Of course not. Yet that's exactly what traditional medicine does with your brain. They're waiting for something to break instead of helping you optimize and prevent decline. Let me tell you about this platform that we use. It's called Kreos, and this isn't some online brain game or generic test. Kreos cognitive testing is based on over 30 years of scientific research and validated by over 400 peer-reviewed studies. Those studies incorporate principles from cognitive neuroscience and the hallmarks of established tests like the Montreal Cognitive Assessment and the Mini Mental State Exam. Here's what makes this different. The tests are designed to detect even mild cognitive impairment, the kind of subtle changes that might cost you that crucial deal or strategic insight before they have a gross impact on performance. Each of the 12 tasks only takes 2 to 3 minutes to complete, and a full battery takes less than 40 minutes. And then, this is really important, it provides instant, easy-to-read reports that compare your results to a normative database of over 85,000 people. You're not just getting a score, you're understanding exactly where you stand relative to your peers. The platform measures performance across 4 key cognitive domains: short-term memory, that's your visual spatial working memory and episodic memory; reasoning, your planning, deductive reasoning, and visual spatial processing; concentration, which is your attention and response inhibition; and verbal ability, which is your verbal reasoning. This shifts the entire paradigm from disease treatment to performance optimization. You're being proactive, not reactive. So here's where it gets really interesting. A dual-pronged approach combining functional performance testing with biochemical analysis provides the most complete picture of your cognitive health. Think of it this way. Functional testing tells you how your brain is performing right now, but biochemical analysis, that tells you why. It's like having both the performance metrics and the engine diagnostics for your cognitive Ferrari. The biochemical side is fascinating. We use an advanced lipidomic test that provides a comprehensive profile of over 100 lipid-related markers. This goes far beyond the standard cholesterol panel. We're measuring the specific types, forms, and ratios of fats your brain needs. Plasmalogens, omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, DHA, phospholipids, and mitochondrial lipid markers. Let me give you a specific example of why this matters. Plasmalogens are critical for stabilizing the electron transport chain, which is essential for producing energy in the form of ATP. Now, your brain consumes 20 to 25% of your body's total energy. So when there's a drop in lipid quality, it leads to lower ATP output and those feelings of mental fatigue. You know that feeling when you're foggy and tired even after a good night's sleep? It doesn't matter how much you rest if your brain isn't producing sufficient energy at the cellular level. The test provides Z-scores and percentile comparisons to optimal ranges. You get a precise biochemical map of your brain, and when you combine this with the functional data from Creos, you can see not just where you are, but why you're there and what specifically needs to be addressed. This data allows for the creation of highly personalized, data-driven protocols, not generic brain health advice, but interventions targeted to your specific biochemical profile. Now, a single assessment provides a snapshot, but here's where the real power comes in. Longitudinal monitoring. Regular retesting with Creos cognitive testing shows how lifestyle changes are impacting your performance scores. Retesting the lipidomics shows changes in your brain's underlying lipid structure. This creates a powerful feedback loop for optimization. Let me break down what targeted interventions actually look like. There are 12 modifiable risk factors for dementia: physical activity, diet, sleep, managing medical conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, but we go beyond the basics. For example, fasting and low carbohydrate diets can promote ketone production. Ketones are a clean fuel source for the brain that improves mitochondrial efficiency and protects those critical lipids we talked about. Studies have also shown that consuming exogenous ketones can have nearly the same beneficial effect without the strict dietary limitations. When biochemical testing reveals a deficiency, we use targeted supplementation with plasmalogen precursors to help replenish those critical lipids. It's a direct way to support your brain's structural integrity and energy production at a foundational level. This transforms cognitive care from a defensive measure into a powerful tool for maintaining your long-term competitive edge. You're not just preventing decline, you're optimizing for peak performance. Think about it. Cognitive diversity has been shown to be a competitive advantage for organizations. But what about cognitive optimization at the individual level? The research shows that the interplay between cognitive function and leadership styles directly shapes decision-making quality. For high-performing executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, cognitive function isn't just about avoiding disease, it's about sustaining peak performance. And by combining objective, fundamental tests with deep biochemical analysis, you have a comprehensive and proactive approach to maintaining that performance. So let me be clear about what we've covered here. Your cognitive function is your primary competitive asset as a leader. And that brain fog, that mental fatigue you may be experiencing, it's not a character flaw or inevitable aging. It's a biochemical problem with a biochemical solution. Traditional testing waits for symptoms, but proactive assessment can detect changes before they impact your performance. The combination of functional cognitive testing like Creos and advanced biochemical analysis through lipidomics gives you a complete picture of your brain health, and that allows for targeted, personalized interventions that actually work. But here's what I haven't told you yet. There's a specific protocol that my highest performing clients use to not just maintain their cognitive function, but actually enhance it beyond their baseline. If you want to learn more about how we help executives maintain their cognitive edge well into their 70s and beyond, visit alternativehealthcare.com. If you value longevity and peak performance as highly as your business success, be sure to subscribe.